Yeah, how do we look? Are we looking?
We look good.
I can't even see that far. I gotta get LASIK. Thank you.
What's up, world? It's Amanda Savignon, Savignon like the wine. And I am coming to you live from Miami, where I currently live. I've been here for almost 2 years after a 30-year stint in New York City. And when I moved to Miami, I looked around and I'm like, damn, these people look good. And at that time, there was this meme going around when everyone was moving from New York to Miami that said, like, I was a 10 in New York, but I'm like a 6 at best in Miami. And something that I could tell about the people here is that they love being outside. Like, they'll do whatever they can to get their movement in. I saw people riding bike, riding their skateboards, rollerblades, walking with their dogs, running, doing all kinds of stuff. And I was like, wow, I really want this for me. And you can tell these people go to the gym, like they have a routine. And, fast forward to now, I don't mean to brag, but I work out 3 to 6 days a week. And that is for two reasons. One, because of the amazing weather in Miami, I low key feel really guilty not going outside when the sky is so blue and the sun's out and the palm trees are swaying. And the second is because of my guest here today, Starr Hawkins.
Yee, what's up? What's up?
Starr, A.K.A. Baby Mama Fit, is one of Miami's most popular fitness instructors. She's worked with the likes of Victoria's Secret models, athletes like NFL players, mommies to be, hence the Baby Mama Fit, and also new moms who just kind of want to snap back. And she's worked with folks like Nike, Puma, Bala, you name it, and also has been featured on places like Adweek, Washington Post, Bloomberg Business Week, Aventura Magazine. I mean, everywhere. So,
Thank you. What a nice intro. I'll take all that.
yes. Starr, so you were born in Virginia and were raised in Asheville, North Carolina. But
Yes.
how did you get to Miami, and how did you get to be like one of the top fitness instructors here?
Yeah, so I was born in the DC area, the DMV, shout out DMV. But then moved to Asheville to live with my mother. Basically, when I hit puberty, I ended up back in the DMV because my dad lived there. And I met my daughter's father, who was from here. So we met in college. I went to UNC Charlotte, flunked out of school. I was never a school person. I kind of like am at this point in my life where I'm like, should I try to go back to school? But with iPhones, I think it would just be too much for my ADHD. But yeah, so I met my daughter's father in school. He was from here. And then I ended up moving here about 13 years ago and just never left. I love Miami.
Well, you before you got into fitness, you were working in fashion.
Yes.
I think you worked at like
Up against the wall.
Yeah, up against the wall.
Yeah, it was like I think it was ahead of its time. It was like a boutique that sold like Avisu jeans, True Religion, Seven jeans, Red Monkey. It was like, urban, 555 soul, but then like a good mix of everything. And they started they had a store called Commander Salamander that was like a hot topic, and then they had like their urban stores, and they had them all over the DC area. They had two here, one in Sunset Place and one in Dadeland Mall. And I actually moved down here with my daughter's father, and they were like, oh yeah, we'll make you a manager. So I was like, 18 years old. I wanted to do fashion. I'm like, yeah, I'll move to Miami and become a manager of, a store. And that's what I did. And then they ended up closing when the economy crashed, but it was such a good store and such a good run and a part of my story. And there's actually a lot of people from DC that I worked with at that store that live here now. It's
Wow.
crazy. Yeah.
RIP up against the wall.
Yeah. RIP. It was a great store.
And then you did some time in Nike for a little bit.
Yeah. So I've done everything. I've always been a extremely hard worker. When I lived here in the beginning, I did a lot of retail. I worked at like 3 stores on Purdy Avenue, and then ended up at Barry's Boot Camp. I was a desker there. And then I got my certification in Pilates. And at that time, I think I was working at Nike as well, and then promoting at night. I was like newly single. I wanted to be outside. So I was promoting and doing like, bringing out the Nike crew at night to Ricky's on the beach and like, bodega and stuff. And then I started doing influencing once I got like a following. So I've always had like 7 jobs. People are always making fun of me because they would just be like, we see you everywhere. I'm like, yeah, I'm working.
Exactly. It's like, this is not easy.
Right.
I first heard about you when we were working on an issue. I'm a photo editor at a magazine, and we were working on a special issue that year called How To. And it's like 50 plus lessons from really, really smart people. And one of them was you. And I hadn't even moved to Miami yet. But the how to section that you were in, there was like, how to negotiate your rent, how to, um, keep a film series alive, how to make money online. And that's the section that you were in. And so I had to like reach out to you and say, hey, can you send me some photos of yourself? Like, we're doing this feature. And I think you had spoken to one of the writers. And then fast forward, I moved to Miami and I was playing tennis and you were there. And I was like, wait, I think we've corresponded before. You're
Yeah.
like, really? And I was like, yeah, for this magazine. And so it's just so crazy that I heard about you all the way in New York before meeting you and before even moving here. And I think that was because over the pandemic, you pretty much blew up. You were bringing in a lot of income from doing videos on OnlyFans, working out with
Yes.
some of your friends.
Yeah.
How did the pandemic and what you were doing then affect your career now as a fitness instructor?
Okay, so yeah, the pandemic was definitely huge for me. It was funny because I actually had hernia surgery. Like the week before, they were like saying that they were going to stop all elective surgeries. So I had ended up getting my hernia. I had 2 hernias. I got them worked on, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it now because I'm going to chill. Because it's about to be a pandemic. We're about to shut down. I'm not going to be working out for 6 weeks. It's going to be fine. Yo, I was doing like 2 lives a day on Instagram. Thank God my hernia healed. It healed okay. But it was funny because I really thought like I was going to chill. And I ended up working twice as hard. I really actually like that time. I was connecting a lot online. I think we all wanted connection because we were kind of stuck in the house. So I would seek clients in the morning and not tell anybody, lie about it because it was so like taboo to, be training people. You couldn't be. I would do it outside, like 6 feet away. I had like the 3 same clients I would see every day. I'd be done by 12 and then I would do it live. And I reached out to like different brands, Inked Magazine. I reached out to influencers. I'd be like, hey, let's hop on live, do a workout. And I slowly like saw my influencing double, like my followers double from that. And then my girlfriend, Yes Jules, was like, yo, I'm going on OnlyFans. We should be charging for these workouts. And I was doing them for free. People were, obviously tipping me and sending me money, and I was killing it. I was actually making a lot of money when I was doing it for free too. And she was like, we need to get a paywall up, and I want you to come over to OnlyFans. And at the time, OnlyFans was so taboo because it was known for being a sex site, and nothing against that. I think you should be able to do whatever you want to do to make money, and you should control it. And I think that's a great way to do that. And so we moved over, and I had like over, I want to say like 400 to 600, probably at the peak, like 600 women on OnlyFans doing my workouts.
And they were everywhere, Canada,
everywhere,
LA,
everywhere.
New
I went to
York.
Harvard to go show my daughter the campus because we were in Boston, and a woman walks up to me with a stroller like, yo, I had an OnlyFans because of you. Like in Boston, tons of people were doing my workouts on OnlyFans, $30 a month. It was $1 a day. I have actually kept that. It's still $1 a day. I'm still doing the workouts, but I think like a lot of people kind of got stuck in like kind of waited around for, we're just going to wait for stuff to open, or, they didn't really transition into that space. And there was a lot of like learning curve, like doing workouts on Zoom in the beginning. You wouldn't think it would be hard, but like, people get lost. Like if you do one side of something, like there was a big learning curve I had to realize, like being behind a screen, even like saying things for people to understand and how to get people involved. Like show me flames if you're feeling it, or, you're like talking, but you're not really talking to anyone because you're on a screen. You know what I mean? So like there were like learning curves and things I had to do to make it interactive and make it fun. We started an accountability camera. So I would put it on the girls, and it was like their time to shine. And if they got, if they couldn't do anymore, we would take a twerk break, and like there was just like fun ways to make it more interactive and build more community. And yeah, it was a cool time. I mean, I miss that time. I miss the whole Tiger King, cooking stuff in the air fryer, doing my Instagram lives all day, being in bed by 6. I miss it. It was so nice. But yeah, I'm actually at a point in my life now where I'm really trying to transition because the online is not what it used to be. And everybody wants in person, they want retreats, they want to connect. Like we want to be right here with each other now. So I'm really trying to, I still have my online, but I'm still trying to like think of other ways to connect and reach out and just keep evolving. You got to go with everything as it comes.
Yeah,
Got to roll with it.
that's true. And it's kind of tough because this is when you realize, like, wait, I'm one person. Like, I can't be over there and I can't be over here at the same time.
Yeah.
But I know you'll figure it out because other podcasts that I've heard that you've been on and just on social media, you say like, before I wanted this, like I wanted 5K followers and I wanted a big butt, and then you'll have all of that and get it.
You
and
get
then
the big butt and you get the followers, and then you want more followers.
Exactly.
And you want a bigger butt. or maybe you don't because the aesthetic has changed, but it's like
that's true.
You just got to be happy with who you are at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I do think setting goals is important. It's a new year. So everybody's got this programming of new year, new you, new year, new you. And my biggest joke is like, I'm same bitch, but a new year, but I'm the same girl. But I'm not, we're constantly evolving, and I don't think you should get caught up in it. Like, you don't have to be somebody different, or you don't have to set crazy goals for yourself, but just little changes, People hit me up all the time and they ask me like, how do you do it if you don't have followers, or if you don't have money, or if you don't have, and it's like, I mean, it's hard for me to remember what that's like. Cause it was, I've been on this track for like 8-9 years now, but I started somewhere. I had no followers and I had no money. There was times when I was on food stamps, and trying to scam my taxes as much as possible, but to get the most I could, so like I did start there, and I don't ever remember stopping, I just remember always saying yes and being a yes girl, to the point now where I'm at this point in my life where I'm like, sometimes I have to say no, because I got to streamline more, or, you don't want to burn yourself out. But I mean, we all start somewhere, and you're not going to be the best overnight. So
you're also at the level that you can be picky,
sometimes. Yeah.
Like you can say like, okay, well, I can't do this, so I'm going to do that, or that's going to take too much energy and I
Right.
need it for this. And
well, it's harder too now, because I think also like brands with all this stuff, like we've got AI, we've got all these things that actually tell people what works and what doesn't, so brands, in the beginning, I think like anybody was willing to like pay you to do anything, like, oh yeah, I'll pay you $1,000 for a post, $3,000, $4,000. People know what works now, and people don't want to just throw money at the wall and see if it sticks. They want to invest in an actual brand, an actual person, because they know what's really working and what's not. So I think it's also harder to, the jobs aren't coming as easy, I don't think. I think, you have to really look for them, or maybe that's just my experience this year, or this past year. Like even with Art Basel, I felt like, there wasn't as much. There was a lot of intimate dinners. I feel like more people were invested in like creating those connections and doing what works,
That's
instead
true.
of more, experimental things.
This Art Basel was very diverse, though, more than any other that I've been to. I think I've done like 8 or 9 Art Basels, and I'm like, okay, I like this. There's diversity in race, in age, in in sex and everything.
Yeah.
And I did like that, but I did peep those intimate dinners, and it would be like 10 or 15 people, or a boat ride with 15 people, or they'll rent a fancy house and then brand it, put their branding everywhere, and then just have like a select 50. And I think people do want to connect a lot more now, but we're coming off of like 2 years of not connecting, so much, or connecting how we could, but with the technology in between and the screens and the phones. And I think you're right. People just kind of want to sit down like this together.
Be in the moment.
Now.
Yeah, definitely. That's my list. That's my New Year's. One of my New Year's resolutions is just be more in the moment and connect, Yeah. Obviously, I have to post because of social media, and I like to post, and I like to let everyone know what I'm doing all the time. But, even just like if I do record this stuff, maybe not posting it right then, maybe waiting, later posts, and maybe spending more time editing it and really getting organized. But when I'm in the moment, I'm in the moment.
Yeah. It reminds me of quality over quantity.
Yes.
Like before, it was a lot about quantity and I think the followers and the clients and the people and the money.
Yeah.
And now it's just more of like, where and how do I want to spend my time?
Yes. Yes, definitely.
I'm a very like post, capture content now, post later person, because I like to like tell a story throughout the day. So that's going to require me to sit down and like look at my phone.
Yeah.
And so earlier I told you we have a lot of things in common. Like we even have similar eye color. Like we're the same age. We're both Geminis. And
Woo woo, Gemini.
woo, woo, people, Geminis get a bad rep out there,
You know
but
what? We do, but I think it's just because we're so different
I
and
think so too.
creative. And
Yeah.
yeah,
I think a lot of times people are like, I don't know what to do with you. And like, that's okay. You
yeah,
know, at first, you know, when we were much younger, it'd be like, oh my God, I'm the weird one. Something's up with me. I'm doing it wrong. But now it's just like, oh, I get it. It's the Gemini
yeah. It's a
thing.
Gemini factor.
One thing also is that we both have been kind of met with a lot of adversities in life from like a non-traditional upbringing and childhood, and you know we've come to this place where we're really happy, and you know other people see us, you, as successful people. So how have you healed from a lot of your past situations, drama, you know, non-traditional again upbringing from home and to here?
Lots of therapy, right? Lots of self work. Um, and you just gotta, like forgiveness. I mean, I go home to Asheville. My mom was a struggling alcoholic my whole life, drugs and alcohol. And then I struggled. That's what got me into fitness. I struggled. I had my struggles with alcohol. It's crazy how you try so hard not to be your mother and you turn exactly into your parents, like no matter what you do. And then also becoming a parent, I've had a lot of, like, I guess the word is grace, right? Like I'm able to see, like I used to get so pissed off. I'd be like, my mom never took me, like I'm a super active person. I'm good at everything I do, like a little bit good, right? Like I'm a little bit good at basketball. I'm a little bit good at tennis, but I never had that mom that took me straight to, like, basketball camp every day or try or practice. I never had that mom. My mom was never available for me because she was always struggling. And I used to feel like very resentful at her because of that, because I feel like I could probably, have been like a better athlete. I'm not pro or anything, but you know what I mean? Like my daughter now, I see these kids, they're dancing, they're, tutors, all that. And I always felt so resentful because I never got that from her. And then I had to have a daughter and I have to take her to practice and to dance and all this. And I'm tired, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And I get it now. I'm like, I mean, I still take her because that's my baby, but I have a little bit more grace in the sense that my mom actually was struggling with addiction and had me. She did the best she could. It's not as easy as we think it is. So I think just like with time, with age, I think you start to have a better understanding of everyone's out here just trying to make it, and it's not easy. It's not easy, And then just healing, go to therapy, being self-aware. I'm very like in tune. Like if I piss off 5 people in a day, I'm probably the problem. Like
Yeah.
I might need to look at myself today, you know? Um, and if I find myself like lashing out at people or just being a little bit like not normal, I'm like, ooh, I got to do some checks. Like, have I slept enough? Have I ate enough? Are my finances good? It's usually either food or finance for me, Either my finances are messed up, I'm hungry, or sleep. Sleep is a huge one. I need to sleep. So I do my checks, and I wake up every single day and I do what I need to do for me so that way I can be 100% for everybody else.
Mhm.
So for me, that checklist is definitely working out. I have to get my workout in. Today, I wasn't feeling 100%. I'm trying to listen to my body and be a little bit more like mindful of that. So I didn't get my workout in, but I slept and I took my time to meditate a little bit on it. And like, I'm going to still have a great day today. And I'm here with you, which is like, I feel like if I'm helping people in another way, that's still something that makes me feel good about myself.
Mhm.
It's like a selfish thing. I help people so I can feel good. But it works. And yeah, so I mean, my traumas aren't 100% healed. I've actually realized as an adult too, there are triggers out there that come back. There's like I could be driving in Asheville and go down a street and remember something from in my past, and it can trigger up old feelings, or like, somebody could maybe talk to you a certain way and it can bring up some old stuff. And at those times I just try to like think about like why is it feeling like that, and maybe like breathe a little bit and just say, I say something to myself that makes me feel better, like, that's part of my past and we're not that person anymore, or we're, we don't have to forget about it, but we need to move on from it, and yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I had to forgive my mom. I wanted her to apologize to me a lot and acknowledge certain things, and it wasn't in my time, but eventually happened. So that was kind of cool. And she's sober now, so that was kind of cool, like seeing that. Um, and then yeah, just working. I go to therapy. I think I answered it right. That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
No, you
yeah.
did.
I can keep talking on that. I can talk for hours about self help.
Yeah, no, it's I think it's good and healthy to be able to get to a place where you can feel like you've done something to heal and not stay stuck for so long in a place where you feel like um my life is like this because that's just how the cards I was dealt, or that's just how things were meant to be for me, or it can never get any better. So doing therapy and growing in your career and being a mom yourself, kind of, I don't know, opens pathways to a different life for you to make a different life
Yeah.
for yourself. And how does, I guess, having that relationship with your mom where she kind of wasn't there, or showing up for you when you were much younger, how does that affect your parenting today with your daughter?
I definitely try to show up. Definitely, I try to show up for my daughter a lot. It's hard though. They got phones now, so they're like lazy as all hell.
Mm-hmm. They're like too busy to be
Right.
like, "Where's my mom?" And she's not
Right,
here.
right,
It's like,
yeah, she could just track me on the phone. She knows exactly where I am. She's like, "Oh, I'll just take an Uber." Like they're so self sufficient. But yeah, I try to be there for my daughter as much as I can, and have that open line of communication with her. It's hard too because I also do social media, so it's hard to parent your child on something when you do it as a job. So sometimes that can be an issue. But I'm very fortunate that I have a good kid. Um, sorry, I was gonna say something and I completely lost it about my daughter. Um, but yeah.
um,
The thought went in and then I
yeah.
lost it. Oh, it's the old timers.
I
We
know.
getting old
I
timers
know. Oh my
early.
god. And how has, like, having you here now and talking to you, it's very like I can feel the benefits of being sober in a way. I don't know if that sounds crazy, but like your energy. I mean, you pride yourself in your energy, and you're like, that's who I am. I'm a big ball of like great energy, and it's true. But I feel like aside from that, there's like a freshness that comes from like not dealing with the world of alcohol and what comes from it.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I
So.
worked in nightlife, and I feel like even nightlife sober, it's just like it's an energy,
Mhm.
and I'm much more of a daytime energy girl.
Well, you've said, yeah, I love the morning time, the
Right.
daytime. You've said that like you cut it off at 2
Yeah.
a.m.
Oh
That's when
my
you go
god.
home because we're
Yeah, because that's when the freaks come out. That's when the aliens come out. I keep seeing posts about aliens in Bayfront.
oh
I
yeah, I
don't
saw
know, but
that.
that's when the aliens do come out. 2 a.m. There's not much there for me after 2.
Mhm.
You know, I think I just think that that's a culture where usually drugs start to come out, and I don't feel comfortable. Why put myself in a situation where I even have to say no,
Mhm.
or I have to feel uncomfortable? So I usually listen if it's fun and
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 there's food at the
and
function.
there's food and we want to stay past 2, I will. And I
Mhm.
have. I think during Art Basel, actually, I did stay out a couple nights till like 3 or 4. And the next day I was like hungover on life. Ooh, it was rough. It was rough. Voice gone. Voice was hoarse, and just lack of sleep. Like just being 35 and staying out till 4, not drinking. I can't imagine if I did drink. It's like
Mhm.
it feels like you're hungover and you're not. So, yeah, I try to get home before 2 usually. But I like being out. I do like being out. I actually had a post go viral because I did the 5 a.m. club at
Yes, I
Space,
saw it.
the morning club. So you shower, you set your alarm for 5. You shower, you get a full face of makeup on, full outfit, look good, get to the club, get to Space by 6 a.m., and you have breakfast and you do your cardio at the club. It's amazing.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, I want to do that. I would totally
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, yeah, we can go whenever you want.
Oh
My
my
girl
god, that's
Amanda,
fun.
shout out Amanda, she'll hook us up and get us
Nice.
right at the breakfast at Space.
Nice. And how'd you get to like, I'm just not gonna drink anymore, and that's the right thing for me?
I mean, that was like, whew, that was a whole thing in itself. I mean, I had a friend call me. A lot of people are doing dry January. That's like a
Mhm.
thing right now. Dry January. I highly suggest trying it just because it's cool to see what you're capable of doing, and stuff. And a lot of people have been hitting me up about getting sober or about just doing dry January. And I actually tell them maybe do the 30 days, or the 31 days, whatever it is. Because I think when you try to do stuff in long terms and you say forever, that creates anxiety and creates blockages, right? So I think that's why dry January works, because it's 1 month. And then if you like it, maybe you try to do 2 months. And then you try to do 3. But the first year of sobriety is hell. And I think like people need to know. It's hard, it's hard. You're used to drinking to like compensate for something, whether it's anxiety or you feel uncomfortable or I don't know, or it's traumas that you have. I'm not a therapist and I'm just speaking from my own experience. But, I was drinking because something was not sitting right with my spirit with me. So I think when you stop drinking, like that shit's going to come out, it's like, it's got to go somewhere. So I had to like relearn how to live and relearn life. And that takes time. People piss you off. You can't just go to the bar or, you can't go to the beach and have a margarita or a pina colada or go to a game and have a beer. There's so much of my life that was built around drinking. And I think like drinking is such a big culture. I actually think now it's becoming a lot easier not to drink. I think that there's more culture around mocktails. Shout out my mocktail. You made me the mocktail. A lot of clubs and bars are offering mocktails, and it's on the menu right under the drinks or right above the drinks. It's not like a thing.
Also, the non-alcoholic beverage industry is
booming.
Right
I'm really
now.
trying to get a deal with one of those. Like, holla at me.
Right now.
Right. I'm trying to get some non-alcoholic. I need to, but I also need to make the content for it. I'm not letting them know that I want it. So I need to put that energy out there to get it. But yeah, I think that like it's becoming more and more acceptable. But the first year, like if you're not drinking, you're going to realize like, I feel like the people around you probably do drink. And sometimes when people drink, they want to shame you for not drinking or why, or it's like a big deal. And, and in the beginning you might be a little bit more sensitive to it. So that might bother you more than it would if somebody asked me today. I'm like, nah, girl, I don't drink. Like, what's up? And then I find out now, like a lot of people are like, oh, you don't? Well, how did you get there? Tell me more. They're more interested. Whereas in the beginning, I felt like it was more of a shame thing, or maybe I was just more sensitive. But yeah, the first year is a lot. It's a lot of self-work. It's a lot of like, just like reliving life. And I think you go through these emotions and these phases where you're like, being sober because you're like, oh, they're sweaty and they smell bad and they're drunk and you're like judgy. And then there's moments where you're like, why can't I drink like them? And it's not fair, because it's not fair. It's not, why can't I have one drink and just enjoy it like everybody else, But then I got to a point where, I just had to accept it. I don't question it anymore. I don't try to like limit it. Just that whole thought process around drinking is just wild, because a person without a problem probably doesn't think like that. You know what I mean? Like if you're not struggling, you're probably not thinking like, okay, well, I'm just going to have one, or okay, I'm just going to do vodka because every time I do tequila, or, I'm going to have 2 drinks and then I'm going to go straight to water. And then like, or, like, I don't think people without problems have those conversations. Maybe they do.
I think people do more than we think.
Okay, wow.
And I think people before they go out, it's like, okay, so how am I going to break up the date today? I have 2 things to do, but I have to go to Soho. Soho's a fucking like vortex of like that you can get caught into, of like day drinking and into the night and so on. It's happened to me. That's why I know. Nothing on Soho though. But I think people think about it a lot more. We just don't talk about it as much.
Maybe.
And then there's that conversation of, do I have a problem? Right. Why am I thinking about this so much? Or I said I was going to have 3, but I had 6. I said I wasn't going to have any, but I had 2.
Right.
So I think it's going on a lot more. And
well, that could be why the mocktails are being creative, created because they want this healthier lifestyle, and more people are having those conversations with themselves. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I still struggle to this day. There's moments where I'm like, well, maybe I'm not an alcoholic, but I just try not to question it. My life is so good today without alcohol. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I haven't lost a phone in like 8 years. When I was drunk, I lost a phone every weekend. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't lost a phone. I ain't broke a phone.
Can you tell us how you lost that Louboutin at 11?
Oh my God. No, it was at Liv.
At Liv.
Shout out Liv.
Shout out Liv.
I don't know. I think I must have passed out and put my foot out the window. I don't know. But that was my sign. I remember working so hard to buy those Louboutins. And then like just to lose one drunk. Like there's so many stories like that, just fighting people, being aggressive. I pray those stories never come out. Thank God social media wasn't around then, because I just wasn't a good person. I wasn't, but I hurt people, and I wasn't a happy person, and it took a long time to like, get to the point where I am now. And that's how I know when stuff's not sitting right with me, because that person comes out. And that person coming out sober is way worse than coming out drunk, because when that person comes out sober, I'm like, I can't blame it on the alcohol. It's me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Have you named her?
No,
Okay.
because I hope she doesn't come out. I'm sure my husband has named her, because I feel like the people I love get it the worst,
Yeah.
But you know how it is. We're Geminis. We're good, and then we're not good.
Yeah.
Like, beware.
Yeah. And for everyone out there that is thinking like, see, y'all have multiple personalities. It's not that. We do not have multiple personalities.
No,
but
we just like bottle it in until we release everything. So
yeah. But ultimately you did something about it. It's not like you sat there and continued to be that person that you weren't happy with, Yeah. And did you start exploring the sober life and AA at what age was it?
I think 20, how old am I now? 35. Yeah. Like 26, 27 is when I
Okay.
really, and I mean, I would get 30 days, and then I would go and get hammered because I would celebrate the 30 days. And I'd be like, you know what? Maybe this ain't for me. And then I would get another 30 days, and then I would get a year, and then my boyfriend would break up with me, and then I'd get another year. And then some other guy it was always around like relationships. And I mean, that's like another thing that, I had to work on was my relationships. And so there's a ton of work that goes into, addictions. And I think like just trying to be a better person. Fitness was a huge catalyst for me, and it really helped me a lot. It helped me with all this like extra energy and aggression, and the crazy thoughts and the dialogue that I guess I had running in my head at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now I just love like a simple life, and being at home in my underwear with my dogs and watching shows. And before, I just needed chaos. I thrived off of it, And now it's like the chaos I want is in my class.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want like, in my class, music loud, you're working those inner thighs, hitting those abs, that's the chaos I want. I want people to come up after me and be like, whoo, that was crazy. Like that's where I find that energy from now. But now I want like a happy, peaceful life. Very simple.
Yeah.
More time for me.
That was a pretty young age, I think, that you were considering that. So it's pretty impressive to like not connect that to like, oh, it's the after college life, and that's why I'm drinking. I'll get over it, or it's just a breakup. That's why I'm drinking.
Yeah.
I'll get over it. Instead, it was like, no, this is something deeper, and that's something that I really love just in people that I know or just in myself. It's just like there's a voice that like if you get quieter and quieter and quieter, you can listen to, and that's like all the truth you need to hear. And that's where you tune into when you're like, wait, am I just hungry? Like, do I just need to sleep? Like, am I just, whatever the case is. And that's there, and you found it early on, and I love that.
There's a lot of pain. It took a lot of pain to get there. So
yeah,
I mean, I think now it's a much better time though. We've got way more help. You've got TikTok. You got people who blew up just from being sober, and there's so much out there. There's so much resource and like the mocktails and stuff. So it's a new time, and it's getting better, and everybody wants to be healthy, and
yeah,
I think it's really cool.
Also, you live in Miami. Like, it's definitely even much 10 times harder to like be sober here because
everybody thinks that, and I'm like, you know what? I think it's you'd be surprised. There's so much of, even like I would say like 4 years ago, I remember seeing all the promoters at Barry's Boot Camp. Purple would be there, like like even the nightlife people have that. They want that healthy lifestyle too. Like I think that. Yeah, I think it's crossing over, and a lot of more of my friends are sober or doing dry January because they just want to like, clear out their system or,
a little detox.
A little detox. I think like more people are becoming more, healthier. I don't think alcohol is ever going to go out of style because it's fun. Don't get me wrong. I had a lot of fun on alcohol too.
It's also so legal.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Alcohol is fun. I liked it. That was a problem. But you need to know that if you don't want to drink, it's okay. And if you do need help, get help.
Yeah.
Don't be in pain, like by yourself struggling.
And don't be embarrassed. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Don't be embarrassed because there's so many people have, I mean, that's why I think AA worked for me is because you go and you hear stories. And eventually one of those stories sticks because you've actually done it. Like, the Louboutin story, I'm sure somebody else has lost a Louboutin. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it wasn't a Louboutin. Maybe it was maybe it was even a Dior slipper. I don't know what it was, but you lost it at the club. So and you're like, shit. And then that could be the thing that gets you sober. So I think like just sharing your story more and more and speaking with doesn't have to be social media, but just even your best friends. If it's not your best friend, it's your mom, it's your dad. If it's not your dad, finding someone and talking. Because I think like obviously communication is definitely a therapy in itself. Motion
yeah.
is lotion, movement and communication. Those two have really helped me. So
Yeah, I'm in a what people are calling a sober curious place right
yeah,
now.
oh yeah. See, they got
Yeah.
new clubs. Sober curious. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Sober curious and conscious drinking is
Yeah, I love
two
that.
two different names. I love it because it's
Yeah.
I actually found this app online. It's called Reframe app, and you just log the drinks you've had daily, and
See,
you
why
also set
why haven't I made that? That would have been great. I hear all these
exactly.
ideas and I'm like, I met a girl who made 7 figures off of a journal, inside out journal, in
Oh,
1 month. Like so many good things. It's all mindfulness. It's all being aware. Like even
hmm
that is like, that's really cool.
yeah.
I
I
love
think we
that.
found
Yeah.
your next thing.
I'm getting ideas just speaking with you right now because that is such a great thing. What was it? Conscious what?
Conscious drinking and sober curious.
Sober curious.
Yeah,
I
I did
love
not coin
that.
these terms. They're out there, but
Right.
I'm very into it and
Yeah.
interested. Just seeing how much I started this in August last year and just seeing I was like, okay, I'm drinking every day.
Yeah.
And on the days that I wake up feeling like crap, this is the amount that gets me there. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this day I woke up the next day feeling fine because I had 2 drinks. So like, oh, but then I had,
Yeah, so you're like logging it. I like
hmm
that. Yeah.
and then
Cuz we
after
do it with
that,
food. We do it with food, we do it with feelings. Like why not even try it with your
yeah,
alcohol intake? It's such a good.
yeah.
Yeah, that's really smart.
So
That's
that's what I
really
was gonna
cool.
say is like you having just started your business as a your career as a fitness instructor to an influencer and then just being sober because of your own thing. You were sober before it was hot. You had tattoos before it was hot. Like
Yeah.
you were doing all this stuff before it was hot. So now it's merging both. Like the influencing the sober world, something that is just a part of your life, and
Yeah.
that's where the money's at.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. All that stuff is like it's hot right now. So
Yeah.
I gotta figure out how to capitalize on it. That's the most that I struggle with is like obviously the organization of everything. I am like somewhat of a creative and I do enjoy like the whole process of social media. I even do like, TikToks for brands like Year of Ours and I shoot content for brands and I actually enjoy it. But yeah, getting it and putting it into a product or streamlining it to make money is where I've always like lacked. Because even when I did retail, I loved being in retail because I love the connections with people, but I was never the top seller. Like I would sell stuff, but like if you didn't want it, like it's cool. Like you could return it. Like,
That's true.
but you're my friend. Like I'm gonna hit you up later, okay? Like I would meet people and I just enjoyed the interaction more than the actual selling and the profit and yeah, I just need to get more hungry when it comes to the business mindset because I am such a creator when it comes to that stuff. So
Yeah, you'll get there because, and I know that because I think the only thing you didn't give yourself before that you're giving to yourself now is grace, which you
yeah,
mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, and like compassion. Before it's like everything is fucked up, like what's going on, and now it's just like, oh, it makes sense. Like my
yeah,
life has been this way, this has led to this, and this is now that, and
right,
so that's why it
exactly,
is. And now I'm just gonna make my life be what I want it to be.
right, yeah, and just make those little changes to then make it better. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now too.
Yeah, you're a perfect example of like someone who's curating their life. Like you're making it what you want it to be. It's still hard, of course. Like
Oh
every
yeah,
day, one day we're red, the next day we're like blue, and there's no, and we just have to make room for that. And that's where like friendships come in. Like that's where friendships are really important. Like you can tell your homegirl, hey, not feeling well today. Okay, cool. Rather than like you always say no, or you don't make time for me, or
right,
anything like that. So down to curating your life to like what you want in and out of it, who you want in and out of it, and so on. Um, you and your husband make a gorgeous couple.
Thank
And
you.
you both have the same name.
Yes. Star Boy. It's his nickname though. Let's get that straight. There is only one star, and that is I.
Starboy, one word.
Right. Star Boy. It's his nickname. That's
And
how we met. Somebody yelled Star, and we were both like, "Is your name Star?" Well, he said that in his British accent.
he's from.
Filipino with a British accent. He got me. And I was the first Miami girl he met, so he married me.
You were like, you're mine.
Yeah.
Come here.
Yeah.
And then you guys got married in the UK,
Yes.
right?
The borders got locked. I was doing my online in London, and I got to live in London for 4 months. I brought my daughter out there. She did school over there. Such a cool experience. And then we came back, and yeah, he got his green card, and now we're doing the deal. We're here. He does video part time. He also trains kids in gymnastics, and he does a bunch of stuff. Oh, sorry. He does a bunch of stuff. He does like production for Glenn Fittich. I made a mistake of calling him a handyman. I said, "Oh, you a handyman, babe? Can you fix this?" He said, "I'm not a handyman. It's production. So excuse me, production." Uh, but he does Miami. He's like figuring out his life too. In Miami, I feel like we all have like 7 jobs, and then we streamline to one. He's mostly known for his calisthenics, which is like street gymnastics.
Insane.
It's insane. And honestly, it needs like a brand to pick it up. You know how like Reebok, I guess, picked up CrossFit.
Mm-hmm.
Calisthenics hasn't found its like it needs to be in the Olympics or something. I don't know. So, he's been in that for a very long time. He judges competitions. I think he's gonna start competing again too. But we getting old, so he's got other hustles going. So
Yeah. Also, his content is amazing.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
high
He
quality.
taught himself. He is self-taught. He did not graduate high school. He did not, go to college. I think he like got up to like 9th grade, but he taught himself video editing. When it comes to certain things, he's like super smart. He can teach himself anything. So self-taught in calisthenics, self-taught in video editing.
Incredible.
Yeah, super cool.
I feel a movie coming on.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Just something. We need to do something, We have to find that balance because it's hard too when you work with your spouse. Like, I feel like every good influencer needs like someone in their life doing their content. And a lot of times it is their significant other. But, also you want to just be with your significant other. You don't want to always be on that like work vibe. So
Yeah.
we have to balance it. And he's actually really good because when I don't want to do it, he usually really wants to. And then when he doesn't want to do it, I'm usually on. So we kind of like, get through like 5 minutes of like, are you sure? Do we really want to do this? And then we do it. So it's good.
In my last relationship, that was our worst argument was why. But like, look at your photos. They always look great because I took them. But when you're taking photos of me, they look like crap.
Like act like you want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I'll be like, wait, stop, take a photo. And it's like, oh. And I'm like, why are you signing out? You
Right,
should just take a photo. It just takes a second. And
yeah, I mean, that's why I really meshed with him in the beginning too, was because he understood content. Like he had followers before. He was building his brand. So that made a difference. That helped,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing is I've been very obsessed with money lately and not in the way that we all are. Like we just want it so that we can just be comfortable and do whatever we want all the time. But in a very educational way. Like how, like $1 is $1 plus 5, that's $6. And that thing's cost 8. So you need 2 more, like very down to like the single bill. And you strike me as someone that's really good with money.
Oof. Hell
because
no. I grew up poor. I am horrible with money. I'm from the era of my mom would like get her tax money and spend it all on us. Like I always had nice clothes, always had nice sneakers. So that's why I got into retail because I wanted to always look good.
And that discount.
Yeah, and the discount. And then you get sucked into that discount. I am horrible with money. But I'm a work in progress. Like I'm the I don't want to say I'm horrible because the last obviously 8 years of my life that has changed. But I grew up with no financial teachings. Like, I never was taught to save or like how these kids now are taught to open up, like stocks and bond. Like nobody ever taught me that. Like even with my taxes now, I'm finally trying to get my tax. That's part of my New Year's resolution is to really get my taxes under control and pay out myself and I have my garage as my on-demand gym. So, using that as my business, like really like getting my finances under control. Cause it's hard.
And
it's hard.
It's harder in Miami, not because
is.
it's gotten expensive, but because of like the luxury
Yes.
aspect of it. Like,
Yes.
why is there a
That's
Balenciaga
harder.
advertisement on a bus stop?
Right. Well, that's harder, I think, than being sober. It's like keeping up. We got to keep up with the Joneses here, you know? So like all my clients are rich. And I always think of that Kevin Hart skit where it's like, you know, like he's like buying bottles with his friends and they keep buying bottles. And he's like, the way my account's set up, I got to change my statement. And that's how it is with me. It's like, you know, in the beginning, I'm a Miami trainer. So I am that trainer that wears the brand new sneakers or the off-whites with like, you know, my new outfits and all that stuff. And that was like my image. And, you know, that's what gets you followers because, you know, you get the clicks because you're wearing the brand new sneakers or you're wearing the, you know, and then after a while though, it's hard to keep up, you know. My clients are wearing like, you know, Balenciaga sneakers. So I'm wearing Balenciaga sneakers because you're hanging with your clients. So you got to be on their level. And there's a point where it's like, that stuff is not important. I was able to buy a house like 3 years ago, thank God, or 2 years ago. We bought our house in Little Haiti, thank God, because the rents are so expensive now. Miami is so expensive. But like, I want land. I want, you know, investments. I want more property. Like, I can't buy every single sneaker that comes out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So,
and they're not $50.
No.
They're not $200.
No.
You know?
And there's a sneaker that comes out every week.
Yep.
I bought these Powerpuff.
Whoa,
Like, shout out Andrew.
cool.
Yeah, they got the Power Puffs on the bottom. See, I had to have these. I had to have them. And I beat up my shoes. I like work out in my shoes. I beat them up. So, but there's next week there'll be another one. And I'll have to buy that one too. And then next week, you know, so it's like, yeah, I have to stop. And then now my daughter's 13. So she wants it all. And she probably wants it.
She's a cool girl. So.
Yeah, she wants it because I'm the one setting her up for it. You know, I'm like, oh, I have to have it. Or Zara, this, that. And I want her to have everything nice. So, yeah, I had to stop the retail therapy. I'm trying to be that girl too. I'm trying to keep the savings. I'm trying to get my taxes in order. I'm trying not to buy every single thing that comes out all the time. I think Miami is that keep up with. It's a lifestyle thing, you know.
These boots,
yeah,
these cargo Balenciaga boots. Yeah. I knew I wanted.
I love them,
right? So I went in there for like black because if I'm buying luxury, I'm gonna buy like basic so that I can wear them all the time for years, right? But then I saw these and they were like, oh, this color just came out for the opening store, for the Miami opening store in the design district. So you can't find them anywhere else. Like, this is specific to Miami. And I was like, well, I just moved here. I'll take them.
Yeah, right.
And this is like my third time wearing them. And I've had them for like half a year.
They're beautiful.
I love them. And, you know, they're kind of obnoxious. So sometimes I do like to hide them. But they're just one style. They all look like this.
No, they're beautiful.
And
you could always maybe resell too.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think like, oh, I'm going to resell. But that's never happens.
Yeah.
You know.
And I tried consigning.
Yeah.
But you don't get that much money back.
Yeah, no.
I use a lot of money on that.
Yeah.
But I've become obsessed with it because my homegirl, actually, Yaneli Espinal, she just came out with a book. It's called Mind Your Money. And she's from Dominican, from the Bronx, like me. And she always talks about how, you know, when we're young, we don't have a lot of money education, definitely coming from like the hood. There's none of that. All you know is that it's bad to talk about being on food stamps or going to the welfare office, and you just don't have the education. You don't know anything. And then you're in college and they offer you a credit card for like a free t-shirt. And
you take out your loans and all that stuff. I took out mad student loans. Even discussing my rate with people, I have issues with. Because I like, and I think like rich people probably don't have issues discussing their rates. I think it's a poor thing. I feel like shame in discussing like, you know, what if they say no, like your rate is your rate. Just say it. Like, why do I feel this anxiety towards speaking my rates sometimes, you know? And yeah.
Well, we don't want to lose the job.
Right.
We don't want them to be like,
but
oh no.
You say your rate regardless.
Exactly.
And then negotiate from there, you know? But I feel like this anxiety, like even like discussing money, I feel anxiety. Like I'm like, oh, I don't like even talking about it, you know? And I think like most people who are educated on it don't really feel that anxiety. I don't know if it's like growing up poor or what, but yeah, I definitely had no training in that whatsoever. And yeah, it's been the last 8 years trying to get it together, you know, get it. Especially when I bought a house, I realized how much you needed that paper trail because a bank's not going to give you money if you're not showing how much income you're making. And you know, if you're not a stable, you know, all these Venmos, they count. Y'all got to count these Venmos. And now I think we have to, right?
We have to. After a certain amount, we have to. And the Zells.
And all that. Yeah, now you have to. But like, you want to show income to be able to get a house. But then also later on, you want to write off stuff if it's affecting your business. I mean, that tax thing is on my list. drink water, be in the moment, and get my finances straight. Those are my 3 things I'm working on this year. We should
Wow.
meet up in a year and see if it happened,
Yeah.
see if I'm actually doing it.
You're gonna be like, I got the highest credit. I owe no
Right. Yeah.
taxes.
And I do have good credit. I got my credit up. I pay my bills on time. I'm not in credit debt. I don't, but as far as making money on my money, am I doing that? Probably not. Am I investing in the right things? Am I,
Mm-hmm.
opening up IRAs and all this stuff? Now, this is the year that I want to do that. But yeah, I'm not making money off of I'm not in debt, but I'm not making money off my money. And
Yeah.
that's the problem is you want to make money while you're sleeping.
Yeah. You want your money to be working for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm not there yet. So hopefully.
As far as rates, I also struggle with that when it comes to like photo shoots and just creative work. But something that helped me a long time ago was someone said, don't shop with your wallet. Shop with, like, you're not shopping with your wallet. So don't give your rate according to like your wallet. Like, oh, well, I wouldn't pay $500 for a workout session.
Right.
Okay, that's you. What about the person that asked you for
Right.
your quote that wants to work with you? That might be their budget.
Right. Exactly.
So that helped me a lot where I was like, okay, I have to stop thinking about my finances when I'm giving out my rate because for other people it's different.
It's different. Yeah.
Some people want it. Some people could do it. Don't think twice about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been on the money train. I also it's body, money, and I guess body and diet kind of go together. I've been watching this Netflix show called You Are What You Eat, and
I saw that.
they're just showing us where the chickens come from and how they're treated, and the cows.
Girl, I don't even want to watch that.
And the Amazon forest and everything that's like. And what they do is that they're getting twins together who have the same genetic stuff, so that you can see if how you feel or your health or anything has to do with how you're wired or what you eat. I knew like right away. I'm like, it's gonna have to do with like what you eat. Yeah, I brought up money because it's just something that I think about lately a lot.
Yeah. It's not bad to be money obsessed. It's just like when the money does come and you get everything. Because I train a lot of people with money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I see like, I don't know, more money, more problems kind of thing, like more bills, more people asking for things. And I think it does go back to how you feel and what's on the inside. So obviously with what you're eating and with your exercises and your relationships, those are probably the most 3 important things. The money is just something that helps. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like not being in debt, obviously you're going to have better relationships and you're going to feel better anyways. And maybe having more money, you can afford better food. But like, I don't think money is the be all, solve all,
Yeah.
I'm happy in my little house. I would like to do a little extension on it, make it a little bit bigger so I got a bigger closet. But, like life is still good. My relationships with the people around me are good. And yeah, all in all, I'm happy. But yeah, I go through phases too where I'm money obsessed and work obsessed. I just feel like this year there's a whole different tone that I'm seeing. It's less about being booked and busy and working so hard and killing yourself, and more about just being happy.
Yeah.
So
and gratitude.
Yeah.
And we know what we need to be happy, which is the things that we like, the foods that we like, the movies we like,
definitely,
the socks we like to wear at home, like any little thing. It's
all the little things.
Yeah, we're taking kind of like a notice of that.
Yeah, it's your relationships. At the end of the day, it's really who you're close to, and healing all those relationships that you have that haven't worked out, or cutting off relationships that are toxic. I think it's really about like your friendships and your relationships and being authentic to yourself.
Yeah. Well, in my Uno horoscope that you released a couple of days ago, it said that my circle should get smaller this year, or that it is recommended to have a small circle. And I agree.
Yeah. Because Geminis, I think because we have so many, like my problem is that I'm friends with everybody. So then, I end up investing too much time in too many things. And I think streamlining this year is more important, and just being there for the people that are there for you, So, yeah, keep your circle tighter a little bit this year. I based that off of a real horoscope, by the way.
Yeah.
Just, I read like whatever was on the Today Show and I just remixed it and put Uno cards. So I did some research. So that is our horoscope. Circle's tighter this year.
But we got a +4. So that was good,
plus
right?
4. Yeah.
It wasn't like a blue 2, you know, it wasn't like
That's
a
the thing.
yellow 7.
So I love to create content and I like to do my own thing, but I feel like the way the content has been going, it's like unless you do the same trends and the same thing as everybody else, you don't blow up and it just sucks. Like I wish there was more creativeness, but I don't know. I heard the algorithm's changing and
Mhm.
that they're going to want more, you have to have more mindful like approach into your content now.
Yeah. That
That
was
what
in my list of ins this year, like ins and outs, and I want to hear your like 5
Okay.
for both. But one of them was in is like original content. Because
Yeah.
right now it's like you see something on TikTok and then you remake it and then that's how you get your
Yeah,
followings.
yeah.
But it's like your content is original.
I
Like you're
try to
just,
be. I try to do creative stuff, but then the creative stuff doesn't hit.
yeah.
It's the same stuff that hits.
Yeah. Well, it's also Instagram versus TikTok, right?
Right.
Like getting
Yeah.
followers on Instagram is much harder than getting followers on TikTok.
Yes.
You know,
True.
and TikTok you can make one thing in your PJs one day and then you can make something more highly curated the next day and it's fine. It makes sense.
Right.
Or you can wear one outfit and make 6 videos on TikTok and put them all up
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's
I
fine.
love that about TikTok.
Yeah, they almost prefer it. And Instagram just seems a little more curated, a little
Yeah,
slower.
you have to really put thought into it.
Yeah. So, what are 5 of your ins for this new year, 2024, and 5 of your outs? Gotta go kaput. Absolutely,
Outs.
absolutely done.
Okay, so definitely in, I think is going to be sobriety or conscious sobriety or conscious, what is it?
Conscious
Conscious drinking,
drinking,
sober curious.
sober
I think that's
curious.
definitely one. I think in, I'd love like the themed party vibes. I love a themed party. So early parties. I saw New York's doing like a matinee party that
Oh,
starts like 5 to 10. I love that. I
it's
think we all need our
amazing.
sleep.
Hell yeah.
So I love an early party. What else is in? Yeah, I think like just being more not necessarily booked and busy. There's nothing wrong with being booked because I definitely want to work a lot. Like don't get me wrong, I definitely want to work a lot, but maybe just, being more streamlined in what you are doing so that it makes sense financially for you, making more money on a select jobs and working 30 jobs and making, the same amount. So, I definitely think that's one. Pilates and strength training are it. Everybody's on the Pilates vibe. And I definitely think you have to combine that with other things. So, getting a routine that works for you, whether it's hybrid, at the house, at the gym, both, you know? Um, and then what else would I say is in? Yeah, just being off your phone
Mm,
as much. Being off your phone,
being
being in the
present.
moment. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then out, obviously late nights, over drinking. Over drinking is not it. Um, and being booked and busy, working 1,000 jobs and not being happy. Um, what else is out? Killing your body. I think being more intuitive, like with everything, balance. So incorporating your mind, your spirituality, and your fitness journey together into one. Like journaling, eating right, and working out, but listening to your body. Today I had to have an off day. That's okay, and just moving on from there. Being friends with everyone. Small talk is out. Like
Mm.
we're not doing it. Like if you don't like me, you don't have to invite me. It's cool. Like we're cool. Like
And I'm also not gonna try to be liked.
right. And
Like I'm
not
not
try to be
putting in
liked
that
anymore.
energy.
Yeah, I'm over that energy as well. Like I
Mhm.
tried so hard to be friends with someone and it just was not working. It's like, bro, it's not meant to be. If it's not meant to be, it's not for you. Um, what else is out? There's a bunch of shit that's out. But
Mhm.
I think whatever sits right with your spirit is in this year,
Mhm.
right?
And I think that the more clear we are on the ends is probably like the more
That you realize what the outs are.
exactly.
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
the
yeah.
outs are gonna be much longer, almost triple than
Yeah,
the
yeah.
ends
Yeah.
because the ends is like I know
Yeah,
I want it.
overspending is out. Keeping up with
Oh,
the Joneses is out. Listen, rewear your
spending
shit.
to fit in is
Go to
out.
Goodwill. I have so much trauma going to Goodwill. My daughter loves it. They're
Mhm.
a generation of thrifters and like,
Yeah.
you know, and self-care. My daughter loves self-care. I mean, pretty much everything my daughter's doing is on. She loves self-care. She loves reusing clothes, going thrifting, you know.
Mhm.
They're very mindful. They're a little bit too much on their phone, so that we're going to take out, but yeah. Yeah, the
Yeah.
outs are out and the ends are
Yeah,
more
I think
focused.
finding a reason to tell the youngins to be off the phone is good. It's not like stop using your phone. It's like I don't understand why. I'm learning so much from here, or like this is entertaining, or whatever. I think like having a, this is why you should be off your own, or let's be off your phone, or let's be here now,
Yeah.
or hey, look, you just missed that because you was
Right.
looking down. It was a bird that
Right.
ate a fish. I don't know,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
like, so just to like teach them more, but it's harder. Like I have two younger sisters, and one is in her mid 20s, so she's trying to be off the phone, and she knows like doom scrolling. She has a bunk bed, one of the ones where you work at the bottom but sleep at the top. So she leaves her phone to charge downstairs, and when she goes up, it's
It's
sleeping
done.
time. It's
Yeah.
not scrolling time. It's doing nothing. But the other one's 19, and it's like it's on the phone, you know. And even the mannerisms are so similar across like all the young kids on TikTok and stuff. But I think just finding a reason um, to encourage them to lessen their screen time is better. But I think time will do it too.
Yeah.
They'll get older and they'll be like, okay, let me put this phone down. Either
Exactly.
that or a relationship. Like my boyfriend is very like anti all this stuff. He's not on social media at all. He prefers I don't post him, and that's fine. That's
Yeah.
better than like, why don't you post me?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So I have to be like, okay, well, let me wake up an hour earlier so that I can like be on my phone or edit this video, or you know, let me do this after work or something,
Yeah.
like to like make room. So just prioritize like relationships, communications, um, as you said. So I want to ask you some food questions before we finish, because we're
Awesome.
also both foodies.
Yeah. Food at the function. If there's not food, I'm not coming. Just so you know.
I
Don't
used
invite me to your gathering if there's no food. Unless it's paid, then I'll show up. But if it's free and there is no food, I will not be coming.
I used to be so shy about asking about that. Like, is there gonna be food?
Oh
Like
no, I need to
before.
know. And if it's at 6 o'clock, there has to be
Oh,
food.
there has to be
Just so
between
you
six
know.
and eight. There has to
If
be
it's
food.
after, even after 9, it's kind of like maybe there's hors d'oeuvres, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if it's at 6, if your function starts at 6, there has to be food.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you not have food at your function?
Yeah, that's right. And if it's at 8, you gotta have the snacks.
A little hors d'oeuvres. We need it.
Mm-hmm.
We need a little something, something. A little shrimp cocktail.
Mm-hmm. So you finish working with a client, and it's, you know, lunchtime, and you didn't pack your lunch. Like, where are you going and what are you getting?
I love Sweet Green. And they have a kids meal that's cheap. It's like $7. And you get like cucumbers, a little bit of rice, a little bit of chicken. It's like the perfect portion.
Mm.
That's my like if you need like a cheap quick meal, Sweet Green is always it. I love some Chipotle.
Mm-hmm.
I love Carrot Express, but I cannot go in there and not get the carrot cake. So that's a problem. I love a good berry smoothie. I hit that. Miami, we were getting really good food, you know. So
Yeah, it took a while, I
yeah,
think.
it
I
took
don't
a little
know.
bit, but
It's a hard city to explore. When people are coming to visit, I say don't explore. Like, reach out to your people that you know that are here, do your research on
yeah, yeah,
TikTok, on Instagram, and like see, but like don't just walk and like go into somewhere, because
yeah,
you'll
yeah.
end up overpaying, or just don't go off the hype.
Right.
Like, you're gonna end up
Yeah,
overpaying
because
for bad food.
some places are obviously more of the experience,
Mm-hmm.
and like you know, you want to take them there because you want them to experience Miami.
Yeah.
But there's like these hole in the walls that are gonna have the food, so then you need to know those as well. You
Yeah,
know, I
definitely.
like both. I like both. I'm here for like good vibes too, but yeah.
Is your go-to restaurant and your favorite restaurant both the same here in Miami?
um, probably not.
Okay.
Yeah,
What's your go-to?
go to
Yeah.
like what if I'm bringing somebody in town and like I
Yeah.
want to take them.
Yeah.
So
Like,
we
let's
have
go out.
friends. We have friends tonight, and we're all gonna go to Uchi.
Oh my God, that's
So
my
Uchi's
favorite.
good.
Yeah.
But before that, we were like, should we go to Komodo? Because Komodo is like vibes, you
Mhm.
know? And then they just opened Casadonna, but I didn't know the person that does the booking for that. So I was like, man, I would love to try that because it's very Miami.
Mhm.
I don't know if the food's good. I'm sure it is.
It's delicious.
Yeah, but Uchi's good because it's in Wynwood and then you can walk around. But then
Mhm.
if you like cheap and cheerful, 1-800-LUCKY, and they have a karaoke room,
Mhm.
you know? And they just had this this new spot just opened there. They got this bomb garlic noodle. Ooh, so good. Filipino fusion. You know, if you like Asian food,
Mhm.
Koyo Tacos right there. If you want cheap and cheerful, and then vibes. So, I love pizza. I love Lucali. I love Andiamo's. I love, you know.
Mhm. I haven't been
I
to
can't even
Lucali.
say. I can't even say one restaurant.
Okay.
I love Miami food. Can't. There's too much. But yeah, we're going to Uchi tonight, so that's you know.
Okay. The
Yeah.
next question was gonna be like, you're getting sushi in Miami. Where are you going? But
Sushi. I like Pub even
Okay,
too.
Pub
I do
Belly.
Pub because it's a good price
Mhm.
and they're consistent. I think their food is good and I love the chef there. I think think he's a great.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all I ask of any place, any restaurant I go to. Is like consistency. Like if I had it today and it was good, I want to go back tomorrow
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it be good.
Yeah, Pub Belly. I go to the one on South Beach and I love they actually have other restaurants and all the restaurants are good. So
Nice.
I like them as well.
What do you snack on? Like in the car, at home? Like what are your favorite snacks?
Depends if I'm trying to be healthy or not. If I'm trying to be healthy, I'm gonna eat an egg, hard boiled egg. Ugh, so boring. If I'm not being healthy, I'm gonna have some lime plantain chips.
Mm,
Love me a La Croix or Lacroix. That's
LaCroix.
what it is. Lacroix. That's what she told me. I was saying it wrong. Um, what else? I don't know. I'm pretty basic. I like all food. I don't really
Mm-hmm.
discriminate, you know. I
Mm-hmm.
like I like eggs, little hash browns. I eat a ham and cheese sandwich. I
Yeah.
love ramen noodles. I've really been loving ramen,
Oh.
especially since it's been cold outside. I've been cracking egg in that. I put salmon in mine the other day. I tried to like revamp it. My husband actually cooks. I'm not a cook. So he cooks a lot of Filipino foods, a lot of chicken adobo and really good stuff.
What's your favorite home cooked meal?
My favorite, I mean, we had salmon the other night. It was good. Salmon and salad. He cooked oxtail the other night. That was really good. Um, we eat a lot of chicken adobo, a lot of chicken and rice. You know, it's Latin
Mm-hmm.
culture around here. So we have a lot of chicken and rice and black beans.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
My favorite.
yeah, but I eat everything. I eat everything. I don't discriminate at all. I love food.
I love that.
Yeah.
And who are some of your like where do you get your inspiration from when and I know I'm bringing this back to fitness real quick, but like where do you get your inspiration from when it comes to both your workouts and your playlist?
Playlist. My playlist, I kind of do myself for the most part. I really
Wow.
spend hours looking for music. And that I learned from Barry's Bootcamp because you got to find all the like EDM beats because on a treadmill, you kind of almost want to run to EDM, but I'm not going to say I do not like EDM because I do. But I want rap EDM. If you're a DJ and you make rap EDM, I need you to DM me and send me some drops because, like, you know, that part. So I constantly looking for new songs for Barry's, and then with my Pilates, I always love like Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B. I like real ratchet women, female rappers.
Mm.
So that's what's going in my playlist for Pilates. So any new female rappers you're getting put on for sure. And then like now that I'm getting old, I love the classics. So, any like 2000s or
Mhm.
like old school hip hop, you're definitely getting a couple throwbacks on there. Um, and yeah, and then as far as like inspiration, I really look to my community for the most part. The people's classes that I go to now. I love Gia at Barry's. I can't even, I don't want to not shout out somebody because Miami has such a good fitness community. So I take a lot of classes. I go to a lot of classes. I go to Pilates with Dorian or I'm at Mimi. Mimi super inspires me. She's just like, and she inspires me on a different level, like spiritual, like with her yoga and stuff. So
Mhm.
I take a lot of classes. I like this girl, Aubrey Winters on Instagram. I follow her. She gives me some inspo. Um, and I follow a lot of fitness trainers in New York, LA, and yeah. And then, I do what I like to do. So, I love working my ass, so I do a lot of booty work.
Mhm.
Like I love the moves that I do the moves myself, so I can feel what every single muscle, so I know what works. I know I'm sore in these places, and then I remix and I add the berries into it with the Pilates, with the boxing, and I try to just put it all in and like sasson it up. It's like
Mhm.
and then throw in some new music and I've even
Mm.
gotten to like dance workouts. Ashley Katz, she does an amazing dance workout in Miami. I started doing more stuff to the beat of the music now. So now I do a little like dance with the arms and yeah, just constantly evolving and changing up my flavor. Yeah. So I would just say my community for the most part. There's so many trainers. I don't want to just say like three people because there's so many that have been
Yeah.
influences in my life and in my fitness journey. We're really fortunate. We got a good
Yeah.
community in Miami.
What I love about your style is like you promote fitness and workout classes by saying like you don't need anything. Join me for as little as $1.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to
You don't need
don't kill
equipment.
yourself.
Yeah, you don't need equipment. You don't need nothing. You just show up. Show up.
Who are like top 3 people that you'd like to train this
Top
year.
3? Oh,
Yeah, crazy list, crazy list.
yeah. I
Think
mean,
no kind of boundaries
definitely
here.
Megan the Stallion, and I see she's doing Pilates too, which I mean I am obsessed with her. I love her.
She's
Megan,
doing 2-a-days. That's
yeah,
crazy. I saw
yeah,
that
she's
she's doing
getting
that.
tight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a good breakup will do that to you. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I
I
wish my
also
husband
think
would break up with me so I could just get my body right.
she's kidding, Starboy. I
Yeah,
think she's kidding.
just pretend. Let's pretend for like a month so I can get right.
I think that, and I low-key think she's trying to like not do any surgeries, which is very popular in like the women rapper
And I
kind
think
of
she said something
circle.
even about getting sober. That
Mm.
her circle was kind of bringing her down a little bit, or maybe she was partying too much, or I don't know. Maybe that isn't true, but I think she just wants to be healthier, which is
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
She's gone through a lot, so
Okay, so
makes
Megan Thee
sense.
Stallion.
Megan Thee Stallion definitely. Um, I would even do like a Cardi B. I think she would be so
I've
fun.
seen she's working on her flexibility.
Okay.
I saw a few videos of her, like she wants to do a full split, so she started with blocks,
Yeah.
like the blocks standing up, and
Oh,
then
cool.
she's shown her progress on how the blocks are laying
Yeah.
down and so on. So that's good.
Serena Williams. I think I would
Mm.
fangirl her too much though. She'd probably like, girl. I met her once and I did fangirl her. Like you're a little awkward.
I feel like she's here a lot in
Yeah,
Miami.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I trained one of her friends. So I've met her. I trained 2 of her friends. So I've met her before. And she's super cool and super nice, and she's like Superwoman.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I definitely like Serena. Um, any powerful woman, female. Anybody
Yeah.
that's cool. I'm
Yeah.
down with.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And to end, since you don't need any equipment to work out with Starr or to be inspired to work out, what's one workout we could do right now, you and I just sitting here?
Just sitting here. We
Yeah.
could do some dips. We've got a chair. Tricep dips. Right here. Just dip it. Hit
Oh,
the backs of
yeah.
those arms.
I feel it.
Yeah, you will.
This
That
is
was the
good.
dips, calisthenics, squats, dips, push-ups, tons of
Wow.
body weight stuff you can do.
Thank you so much for being here. Everyone, if you live in Miami or if you're visiting Miami, Starr is not hard to find. You can join her online classes for as low as $1, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. You can find her teaching Pilates at a really hot room at Mimi Yoga Studio on Monday and Friday. You can find her at Barry's on Wednesday. I'm sorry, on Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, you got my schedule down, girl.
Yeah,
Thank you.
girl. And
Booty
then,
box at Gotham, and I just started doing one at City Zero too in Little Havana.
And then once a month on Saturdays.
I do free pool Pilates at the Moxie Hotel.
I'm
we're
dying
doing it
to
for
go
the
to that. I have not
community.
gone.
Yes, that's gonna be our workout. When we're going 30 years from now, we're gonna go and be doing pool Pilates. That is the workout for the for the elders, but it's also very fun. You get to get in the pool. It's hot in Miami. That is a very Miami workout.
Yeah.
Rooftop pool, Pilates. It's a vibe.
And it's free. And if it's free,
It's for me.
thank you so much for being here. I'm really grateful.
Thank
and
you.
I'll see you around Miami because I'll be there working out with you.
Let's go.